It's time for another Midweek Mini. This is the Wonderland on Points podcast presented by Yahoo Travel. And we are going to do a news roundup this week. Some things going on in the world of points and miles. Last week, womp womp, exciting. We had our 200th episode and it was awesome. But also, I was like famous last words. As someone who is a nurse, works in healthcare, I know to never say, it's so quiet here on the unit today. It's so quiet. You don't say
police
that.
Officers. You don't say you're having a slow day today.
Well, so last week I said, not a whole lot going on this week. Immediately after recording that episode, a lot of things happened. And I was like, okay, that wasn't great timing. So we're going to get into some of the things that have happened.
Yeah, we are. And guys, this is something that I've been kind of turning my wheels about. So if this is something that interests you, we want to know. In the fall, we might find ourselves with some extra time, and we've been kicking around the idea of having a Patreon or an Apple Podcast subscription where you would pay a little bit, but you would get a lot more content. At that point, when we have more time, we are both thinking that if things come out, if news drops, we will hopefully be able to get stuff out to you really quickly and drop stuff outside of our normal Monday and Wednesday episodes. But we don't want to do that if that's not an interest to you guys. So we would love to know either in the Facebook or DM us, or you can email us. You can find all that stuff in the show notes. If this is something that you would actually be interested in, it would probably be a couple bucks a month is what I'm envisioning. But we would get stuff out as it happens. Whereas right now we record ahead of time and then we release it on we record Thursday, we release Monday and Wednesday. And that means that sometimes we say one thing and stuff has changed by the time things come out. If you would be interested in something that's a little bit more personal and timely and multiple drops per week if things are going on, and also more advanced level content, maybe stuff that we don't always talk about, strategy-wise, it's a little bit more intricate, let us know, because it is something we're thinking about. Just saying.
Okay. Well, this week, shortly after our last episode, I think 24 hours or less after we recorded it, Citi broke our hearts. Okay. The Citi Strata Elite was the cool kid in town. When everything last year was going downhill in a lot of the points and miles stuff, other banks were making us mad and airlines changing things. A lot of stuff was going on. And the Citi Strata Elite was the bright spot. It was like, okay, guys, but this is this new card that actually has massive value. It was the best thing in points and miles right now, I think, was the Citi Strata Elite. Out of last year, all the news in 2025, I think the real winner that came out of it was the Citi Strata Elite. However, they didn't like being popular, I guess. They didn't like all the positive attention because now they've announced a devaluation.
I'm actually sick to my stomach over this one because this was my next card. I had gone back and forth about it a lot, and I was like, you know what? I need to refocus on hotels. I've got this Vegas trip coming up that the credits would be really helpful for. And then there's this sweet spot of I prefer that I've just been digging into. And then, of course, there's the choice transfer. And so I was ready as soon as I hit my sign-up bonus for the Amex that I'm working on right now. This was my next one. And now with the devaluation happening as of April, there is zero chance of me getting this card, meeting the sign-up bonus, and making any bookings while it still has this incredible transfer potential. But we are coming to you guys with the hopes that you have some points and can jump on this today. We're going to highlight a few sweet spots for you that you might want to look into booking before these devaluations go into effect. Because what Citi Strata Elite used to do is transfer 1 to 2 to choice and 1 to 4 for I prefer, which is just insane. So the choice one is now going to be 1 to 1.5, which is like 1,000 points is going to be 1,500 instead of 1,000 points being 2,000. And then I prefer is getting slashed in half. So it will now be 1,000 to 2,000 instead of 1,000 to 4,000. It is worth noting that Wells Fargo still has the 1-to-2 transfer ratio for choice. So we did do a little episode talking about Wells Fargo cards that might want to be on your radar because there's some great choice options. But
Yeah. I want to be
sad.
clear, though. I still think this is a phenomenal card. So if you are looking for a transferable points currency card, especially if American Airlines is important to you, I still think there's a lot of value. I like the credits that this card comes with. It's just a bummer. I mean, I got this card to plan our summer trip to Norway because that was a very sweet spot with choice points. And so I planned that trip. So I was able to take advantage of that. But my husband got the card after me, several months after me. We still have his points. So we're trying to decide. We don't like to speculatively transfer points, but we're weighing the options if we want to take advantage of some choice properties right now or not. Another change that Citi is making, and this one I haven't heard anybody talking about at all, it's kind of under the radar, they're taking away points sharing for Citi Thank You members effective May 17th. I was
Why would
planning
they
to
do
pull
this?
I know. I was planning to pull some points with my husband, being that now we both have Citi cards, and I'm glad I saw that, that's going to go away in May. So we need to make any plans ahead of time if we want to share points. I've heard people say before, I think it was Richard Kerr for Built, that said that points pooling really, even though people love it and want it, it opens you up for fraud and for people stealing your points and things. So I'm gonna, I don't know, be okay with it if it's like a safety measure, but it is a bummer.
It is a bummer. It is, because it makes it so much easier for those of us who like to do 2-player mode to really
Yes.
hit this hard. So make sure you guys get any pooling done ahead of time before May 17th. Let's dig into the sweet spots. Maybe I do a few I prefer sweet spots and then you do a few choice sweet spots.
Okay, let's go for it.
Okay, so guys, first of all, the I prefer website is a nightmare. You're not going to do it on your phone. I'm just telling you that right now. And I like to do everything on my phone. So this is hard for me. You're going to want to make an account, a free account, and that's going to be the best way to search the iprefer.com website. And then I think the best thing to do is very broad level, either city or country that you might be interested in. And then make sure you search at the top, you put points, and it will show you the hotels that can be booked on points. Not everything in the I Prefer catalog can, but there are so many incredibly unique boutique properties. There's one I'm particularly interested in French Lick, Indiana, which I've dreamt about going to. The French Lick Springs Hotel starts at 50,000 points. So if you think about it, it's that 1-to-4 transfer ratio. 50,000 is easy. In fact, even when the transfer ratio goes down to 1-to-2, that still could be a very, very cool redemption for a really cool boutique property. Another place that I saw incredible hotels that I was interested in was Austria. And there are a few in the mountains near Salzburg area that look so incredible. And they're like resorts. And you're talking 75,000 points a night, 100,000 points a night, even 150,000 points a night. But again, when you're getting a 1-to-4 transfer ratio and it's these incredible, lush mountain resorts, this is the kind of place, like that's the kind of stuff you want to be just booking right now.
Absolutely.
If you've got the points. And third, I will mention, actually, I'm going to throw in one more after this, but Paris. There's some great options in Paris. 75,000 points a night, 100,000 points a night for really cool places that you could be staying in Paris. That gives you other options besides Hyatt that are really good redemptions at the 1-to-4 rate. And then the last kind of fun one that I was planning on booking for my husband and myself is that you can stay at Graceland in the Elvis themed hotel. And I was really excited about that. I can't remember the redemption. It might have been 50,000. And so it would have been, a quarter of that. I am super sad that I'm not going to be able to make this happen because I did throw it out to my husband who loves Elvis and he was very excited. So poke around. I saw great redemptions in New York, great redemptions in the Hollywood area. These are just very interesting, unique not cookie cutter properties that are pricey and would never be something I could consider on cash. And so you have a month, less than a month, to make this stuff happen for yourselves. And I
couple
would.
weeks. If you are thinking about the choice route, I had a listener of the podcast reach out to me and share an incredible sweet spot that I've not seen anyone online talking about. So I was like, girl, thank you. This is awesome. She is going to Cape Cod with her family, and there is a property that's not, I don't really know how it fits into the choice ecosystem, but it's with Blue Green Vacations, and it's these blue green condos that are 2-bedroom condos. But if you're searching on the Choice app or Choice website, you can find these properties and you're booking with points, but you're getting like a 2-bedroom condo, not just a single hotel room. So
Amazing.
In Cape Cod, she's getting a 2-bedroom condo for its 30 to 35,000 points a night, which right now, is 15,000 points, doubles to 30,000 points. So if you're talking about your family, maybe a larger family that 2 bedrooms really helps, only 15,000 points a night in Cape Cod? That sounds delightful. So Blue Green Vacations is a timeshare company, but they have these condos. So go to their website first, Blue Green Vacations, see the locations where they exist, and then you can go back to Choice and try to search those locations through the Choice app and see if you can find any of these great little hidden sweet spot deals. The one thing I don't like about the Choice app and website, I guess, I only look on the app lately. I have the app because of this Norway trip that I have booked, is it will tell you points prices, but then if you actually click on the property to see what's available, what room types are available, if you don't have enough points in your account, it won't show you. It just says not enough points needed for this. Makes it pretty frustrating and hard to search. So I was messaging different people like, do you have points in your Choice account? Can you search and see how much this would cost? Because I want to confirm this. So it's a downside when you're searching for Choice, but it's kind of a little bootleg program, right? Like we think of Choice as a little bit lower tier than maybe our Hyatt, Hilton, Marriott, but they have some deals to be had. So don't overlook them completely. And if you got that City Strata Elite and you're just sitting on a load of points that you were hoping to take advantage of this, go on and be looking. Find yourself a deal before it switches over.
Maybe I'm going the Wells Fargo route now. I don't know. All right, so our next topic of business is that United has introduced, coming in 2027, but they have announced their Relax Row for long-haul flights, which looks really interesting to me. It's like between premium economy and regular economy. But I have to be honest, like and I think you as well, I would prefer a whole row that kind of turns into a little bed area than like a nice premium economy seat with all the extras. So I'm super interested to see what they're going to be doing in terms of cost on this, and if it's something that we can use our points for, or will it be like a cash upgrade to turn it into a Relax Row? I don't know how that's going to work. Are you paying for 3 seats? Like I have many questions. We don't have answers yet. What do you think about this?
We love telling you guys about other great podcasts. Today, we want to mention the Travel with Kids podcast from our friend Emily.
The Travel with Kids podcast shares family vacation ideas, packing tips, itineraries, and tips for making travel with kids feel easier and more attainable for the average parent, which we all need. Emily shares behind-the-scenes real-life content that you absolutely will not find on social media. So make sure you head down to our show notes and check that out.
Okay, back to the episode. I would rather book this Relax Row than a premium economy, I think. I'm interested to compare the prices of it since you have to book more than one seat. But if you're traveling with 2 people or 3 people, like mom, dad, and a little kid, like, are we going to all fit laying down? I mean, they have all these pictures of like multiple kids laying there smiling together, or a mom and a kid laying down together. But if it's a 3 seats, could you really fit 3 people? Maybe if it was a mom and 2 kids. But they will bring you a mattress pad, extra pillows. You don't get any, fancy upgraded food or drinks like you would in premium cabins. But I don't know. I'm open to it. I laughed about this because I flew. This is only going to be on really long haul United routes. So for me, I go from DC to Cape Town, South Africa almost yearly now, I guess, on this trip that I've been doing. And we're always in economy. And I lucked out on one of those legs. It's a 16-hour flight one direction. So it's a long time. And I one way lucked out and nobody was sitting on the seats beside me. So I got to pull up the armrest, lay down my feet. But the way this is going to work is the footrest are going to kind of rise up, and that's what's going to enclose the area between the row in front of you and your row that you can lay the mattress pad and make it a full bed. So I can confirm I would have loved to have it on those trips. But again, we're going to have to see when all the details comes out on the pricing and how much it costs to book. This is so sketchy. I shouldn't even say it on this podcast. But I also got a little freaked out when I thought about it because I was like, it's showing like, two people, two family members, and I immediately am going to like a honeymoon trip. Like you have two people laying down together in the middle of a plane under a blanket. What could go wrong? You know what I'm saying? Things that happen in bathrooms. It freaks me out. My mind went there. I was like, ooh, are we really like, I don't know, in the middle of economy going to have beds for people and you can have more than one people on them? What could go wrong? I don't know.
It's
Freaks
hard
me
to
out.
imagine two adults being able to fit in one of these. They don't look that spacious, but also on the fact that you even thought of that cracks me up.
If I thought of it, other people thought of it, and
Correct.
things could happen. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Oh, people love to join the Mile High Club in creative ways, I've heard. Oh, boy. All right. Well, yeah, we'll keep you guys posted as we hear more about that. It will be interesting to see how the pricing works. I'm curious. They might just really jack it up in a promotional way and it ends up being way more expensive and not worth it at all. So we shall see. We shall see. Moving on. Resy credits. You take this one because you're a user. You love to use your Resy credits. You're really good at it. You're on top of it. I am not, but this is for the people like me who don't have options.
I love going out to eat. So as soon as those credits hit, I'm using them. So this applies specifically to the Amex Gold card, Amex Platinum card, those Amex cards that have Resy credits. That's what we're talking about here. And you can, if you want to go, say, a really nice restaurant. This is a situation where maybe I would use it, although still probably not. With the Amex Platinum, you get $100 quarterly for Resy. If I was going to a restaurant and I thought between my whole family or whatever, my bill was going to be really big, maybe it's going to be $200, what you could do is you could go to the restaurant, buy a gift card at the restaurant, save it up, and then combine the credits over time so that you can use more at once. And it will, if you buy a restaurant gift card at a Resy restaurant, it will trigger the credit. So that is great. Now, especially I can see this coming into play with the Amex Gold card because those are only $50 credits. So maybe if it's a nicer restaurant, you're probably going to spend $100. Maybe you save them up and just go once during the year, spend $100, use your gift cards. That works. Kind of like the Lululemon. Also, you can buy gift cards at Lululemon if you're trying to trigger the Amex Platinum credits. The thing is with the Lululemon, though, you really have to buy an actual gift card, like in person at a Lululemon store. So if you don't live near any Resy restaurants, I'm still not sure how this credit's going to help you. Maybe you call the restaurant and you try to buy a gift card over the phone, but that's tricky. I don't know. Can they email it to you?
People have been reporting that if you buy through restaurants that offer gift cards online for purchase on their websites, it has been triggering their credits. So I had our friend Lisa, who has been on the podcast at chasingmemories.co, she messaged me because she remembers that this is a thing for me with the only one restaurant. And she was like, you could totally be planning for like a trip where you're going, where you know there's somewhere you want to eat and be getting restaurant gift cards online for these restaurants and saving them up for your trip. And I was like, that's a great idea because honestly, I don't want to be spending $50 twice a year at this one restaurant down the street. It's fine, but it's not that good. I would love to save these up for something else. And since a lot of times like the trip doesn't line up properly with the credit or
Yeah.
whatever, planning ahead a little bit and getting a gift card is a great idea. So I think there's a lot of things that would have to happen. It would have to have a gift card purchase online available. That's tricky. And then you run the risk of something going wrong with the coding and it not working. So I would say proceed with caution. But also, you might be right. Calling and buying a gift card over the phone may be an option. I don't know if they would mail them. It's hard. I don't know.
Yeah. It's tricky, but let us know if you've done it, if you've had
Yeah.
success. Share about it in the Facebook group because we all learn from data points collected by each other, different people trying things. I felt like it was my birthday because a brand new fancy Italian restaurant opened up very close to me that's on Resy.
Aw.
I about died. I messaged so many friends when I saw that it was on Resy. I was like, this is the greatest day ever because I actually didn't have a ton of options right in my town. I mean, I live near DC, so I could go to DC, but I don't actually go in DC that much, right? So one came like within a couple miles of my house, and I was like, this is amazing. Okay, guys, moving on. This is kind of fun. This is a little update to our website that I wanted to share about. I did share it in our Facebook group. When we were celebrating 200 episodes, I started realizing I don't even remember all the 200 episodes. I can't remember sometimes what we've covered and what we haven't covered. So I even need to reference things. We're writing this newsletter now for Yahoo. If you haven't joined the Why Wonder newsletter, sign up. It's in the show notes of this episode. But we're able to reference old episodes from our catalog in those newsletters, which is really awesome, except for I can't remember what we've covered. So for myself, I made a list and I went through and it took me several hours categorizing all the episodes either by topic or by continent, destination, and it makes it a lot easier to find what we've covered. So I have put that on our website. Right now, it's just for the first 200 episodes, but if you're like, you know what, we want to go to a national park, I wonder if they've covered that, go over there, check it out, and hopefully it can help you discover some of our old episodes that will help inform your trip planning.
Yeah. So we've got the link for that in the show notes. And eventually, I hope we will be able to turn this into actual clickable links. But for now, you look at the title of the episode or the number, and that should help you really easily be able to scroll to it wherever you listen, whether it's Apple or Spotify or something similar. Okay, moving on to our very last thing. So this week, we had a listener problem of the week. Someone posted in our Facebook group, which we really, really appreciate the transparency and the vulnerability that comes from being willing to ask for help and to say, I've gotten in a little over my head. This is traumatizing. This is anxiety inducing, and help. Give me advice, because that is what we want the Facebook group to be. We want it to be a very safe place where people feel comfortable to ask all kinds of questions, and there's not going to be any judgment or belittling of any kind. And so this week, we want to talk a little bit about what do we do if our balances get overwhelming because of life circumstances. We find ourselves with a big balance and we're working with a ton of interest. It feels like piling up. It feels like we can't catch up because these travel cards, guys, often come with massive interest rates, 26%, 29%. You don't want to be messing with the interest because it piles up so fast, but sometimes life just happens. So I have two little things I want to say. Maybe we'll do a mini dedicated to this question and we can really fill that out for you guys in more detail. If that's something that interests you, let us know. But first of all, if you know big unexpected things are coming up, my first thing that I would say is try to find a 0% interest card. Some of the Ink business cards, and then the American Express Blue Business Plus are good options for this. The Amex card gives you a digital card number right away if you are like needing a card pronto to cover an emergency. That is one of the best things you can do for yourself. Now, it can be a slippery slope. I don't want you opening a 0% card and being like, now I can put everything on this card. I'll think about it later, because you'll come to the end of that promotional period of 12 months or 18 months or whatever it is very quickly. And then you will feel overwhelmed and then the interest will kick in. So let's not use this as an out, but it is a tool in case you need a little bit of help. And the other thing I would suggest is try to find a card that has 0% interest on balance transfers to give yourself a little bit of breathing room. And I do not want you looking for cards that have anything to do with travel. We don't care. Any card that you feel like you could get approved for that will allow you to shift some of that money so you can chip away at it quickly is a good option. And there's a bazillion of them out there that have nothing to do with any of the points and miles stuff that we talk about. And a lot of them are quote unquote lower tier cards. They're easier to get accepted for because they know when people are looking for the ability to transfer their balance, it's probably because they have some debt that they're working with. So that is what I would tell people to focus on. Find one of those cards, try to get approved for it, and shift that, and then hammer that hard. Pare down that budget, side hustle, all of the Dave Ramsey stuff, guys. This is your only focus until you clear that up. And once you've cleared that up and you've evaluated that you have a good safety net for any emergencies that will come in the future, that's when you shift back to the points and miles and the traveling. And that is okay. We all hit periods where stuff is incredibly tight and we need to take ourselves out of points and miles and into what is going to help our family the most in the future, be successful, comfortable, not be stressed out and beholden to debt. Ooh, that was a little soapbox there.
I know. This is Joe's thing. But I also want to just say, because our listener was so precious, and she called us Mama Mary Ellen and Mama Joe, which made me smile. But listen to this. Mama Mary Ellen and Mama Joe do not want you to get into financial trouble. And so the reason we harp on this is not because we would judge you or be mad at you, but we could not live with the decision of encouraging people to get in over their head with credit cards. This points and miles world is not for carrying balances. You have got to pay it off every month. It has to be like a debit card. Now, again, life happens. Big emergency room bills come up. Your car dies and suddenly you have to get around and, you have to have a computer for work. Things come up that are not just irresponsible spending and buying a bunch of stuff that you didn't need because you liked a new outfit. We know that other life does happen. Joe and I both do not come from wealthy backgrounds. We come from, middle-class families who are working hard to pay bills. So we're not ever going to be judging you. We want to support you. We want to make travel happen for your family, but more so, we want you to be in a good financial place, be responsible with your money, a good steward of what you've been given. And it sounds like our listener is doing a fantastic job because she is like, you know what? I know that this is a problem and I'm going to address it and I'm going to dig my way out of this. They're being frugal. So proud of her and how she's handling this. So we know that things happen and we care about you and we want the best for you. Credit cards and travel are not worth screwing up your credit, okay?
Nope.
It is not worth that. First, be responsible and then eventually travel will happen again.
Yes. Amen. I feel like I could not add anything to that. Let's end it right there. Thank you guys so much for listening today. Make sure you head to the show notes and check out all the things we've got linked there. The codes for the partners, you know where all the things are. I say it every single week. It's down there. Sign up for the Why Wonder newsletter. We're having a lot of fun writing that, and we would love you to join us in your email inboxes 2 times a week. And we will see you here next time, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for joining us for today's episode. We hope you learned something new and feel inspired to plan your next trip.
Remember, we're travelers sharing our experiences, not financial advisors, so always do your own research and make informed decisions.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow so you never miss a Points and Miles tip.
We'll see you next time on Wonderland on Points.